Just because change is inevitable does not make it easy. In fact, when we try to bring upon change in our life through the will, through our own volition, it can be one of the most difficult things to do. But it also can be one of the most rewarding things that we're able to do and accomplish when we make those accomplishments through our will. The challenge is that many of us don't recognize how behavioral change actually happens. We live in a world where everyone's saying take massive action. And even I've said it before, we've heard the burn the ships or go 10x or go all in on the next strategy, whether it's real estate, whether it's wholesaling, whether it's a diet or some type of new habit. And we start with so much enthusiasm, but once the novelty wears off, come on, we've all been there before. It becomes difficult to sustain the change as our old paradigms kick in and we revert back to our old ways. What's going on, everyone? Courtney Rollins. This is the Life and Transitions Experts podcast. Life and Transitions Expert is a community, as I said in the introduction, of professionals who are usually around the estate world, whether it's state attorneys or real estate professionals, or perhaps even social workers or counselors that help people prepare for those big changes in life. My main area of focus is real estate and probate, helping families who have probate or have real estate through the probate process. It's been very rewarding, and it can be very challenging as well as a small business owner and entrepreneur. And so when I'm trying to, or you may find yourself attempting to implement different strategies or techniques or tools that are going to help you help others, and you may find it to be very difficult. So you are not to blame. Just know that our bodies are set up to go through the path of least resistance, even though that's not always the most rewarding for us. So it's a lot easier for me to eat that pecan pie and ice cream than to go and eat that green broccoli or whatever it is that's probably healthier for me and actually feels better in the long run. But we must know at least three things about behavioral change if we are going to implement change in our lives and make these considerations as well as we interact with other folks. So what are those three things? Okay. Number one, there has to be intrinsic motivation. The motivation to make change cannot come from an external space. Now, it actually can, but that doesn't mean it's going to last long. Whether it's through external motivation or coercion, that change only lasts for a short duration, but it's not lasting change unless it really comes from you, from inside of you. So having intrinsic motivation, being connected to the issue, knowing your why will help you move past and get through the how. Number two, manageable increments. So often in the spaces, and let me step it back. Where I got this information from is I spent years as an educator in the diversity, equity, exclusion world. And I spent many years as a senior trainer for sexual assault, dating violence, and stalking prevention. And our job was to go into communities and help individuals and groups mobilize lasting change to make sure that spaces and environments were safe. And that's not something I can go in and say, hey, you're forced to do this. Now, coercion and laws and things of that nature definitely have their place in society. But when we're talking about lasting change, it must be intrinsic, and it must be the second one, manageable increments. I cannot expect someone to come in and be able to expect them in a 1 hour conversation to be able to take on all this societal change or to change their lives in other ways that are massive. And you cannot or don't expect to go into a gym and work 24 hours straight cardio and lifting and come out. Yeah, you're going to feel changed indeed, but it won't be lasting. Actually, it may be permanent because you might put yourself into the ground, but it won't be as lasting if you make it through that experience as if you did it in manageable increments, which speaks to the third one. The third component that's necessary for change is it has to be consistent iterations. You go back to that gym analogy, it is much better for you to go to the gym 30 minutes a day, 3-5 times a week, as opposed to 3 hours on Monday and then skip for 4 days and then another 2 hours on Saturday or Friday or whatever day it comes up. It is much more, you're going to gain more traction spending 15 minutes a day playing the piano, practicing, as opposed to going 3 hours one time once a week. Manageable, consistent increments. That's you're building the actual we call neuroplasticity in your brain. You're building new neural pathways to make it easier. So then that becomes your your paradigm, your programming that you fall on. And it's easier for you to get up for the gym, or easier for you to make those phone calls to your prospects because you have it in manageable, consistent increments, as opposed to, I'm going to spend 12 hours cold calling Tuesday, and then you never cold call again because you're burnt out, you know? So those are the three components that are necessary: intrinsic motivation, one; manageable increments, number two; and three, it must be consistent iterations, consistency. Okay. Now, if you are facing the probate process, or you know someone facing the probate process, and it's so daunting and so taxing, and maybe you have the motivation, but it doesn't feel like it's manageable, and you're not attacking it as consistently as you would like, please reach out to us at Estate Pro Service. We'd love to help you, whether there's real estate or not involved. We have a connection to the National Registry of vetted estate professionals that can help you out. If you're in the Durham County area, certainly can help you on an even more personal note, because that's the space that I'm in, the Durham County probate expert here. This video and article, as we said before, is a part of the Life and Transitions Expert podcast. Would love you go to Spotify, Apple Music, and sign up and hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Now, our Facebook community is another place that you can go to and join us, the Life and Transitions Experts Facebook group. We'd love for you to be there. And if you want to be a guest on the show, maybe you're a state attorney or a professional or a real estate professional, wholesaler, small business owner, or entrepreneur, if you would like to be a guest on the show, feel free to reach out to me at any of those spaces, and we would love to set up a time to see if this is the right space or channel or venue for you, and champion what you're doing. And finally, if you are an investor or a wholesaler, or you work directly with property owners and you're looking for resources such as a sales system and sales script, or you want to partner on deals, go to doreideals.com and check out all the resources and real estate deals we have there available. You can even sign up for a free 30-minute conversation with me, and we can see how we can champion each other's work and business. Would love to work with you in the future, and I'm excited about all the great things that are happening in your life. Just make sure you take in mind those three necessary components: intrinsic motivation, making sure it's manageable increments, and making sure that it's consistent over time. Courtney Rollins signing off. Rising tides, it lifts all sails.